Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Sabrina Morrison, that is a Peterson, whatever her name is, Wendy's guardian, you are running scared. Joe Tacopino has taken over. That is the man that got Trump off. It is the man that got ASAP Rocky off. It is the man that has been getting everybody off. We just better hope he don't represent Lucifer himself. And by that I mean Diddy. He has gotten everybody off and he has taken over Wendy's trial. She's been awarded a jury trial and she is going after the guardian, the court, and this whole corrupt system that put her under. But here's the gag. Here's the thing, right? The guardian is scared and she doesn't care what she has to burn down or how bad it looks. She just knows that Wendy can't be talking to people like that. Get this. When Wendy decided to go to dinner with her niece and her lawyer, her new lawyer, Joe Tacopino, that is probably going to take that whole system down. He is very good at what he does, all right? Think Alex Spiro, but he's a trial lawyer, okay? Guess what? She was denied dinner. They wouldn't let her out of the facility. Now they're saying that all of a sudden now that Wendy's like, I want to be let out. Now Sabrina Peterson is like, oh my God, Wendy's causing havoc, so let her out. Wendy's doing this, so let her out. Wendy should not be incapacitated. I don't know how many times I have to say it. I don't care what Wendy is on. I don't care what she's doing. You cannot literally lock someone away because they're spending money on what they want to. If not, half of Hollywood would be locked up. Literally. Anyway, let's get into this. This is an exclusive with TMZ. TMZ is locked in with Wendy Williams and her lawyers. Baby Sabrina, this is a desperate move. And baby, we love to see it because you know Joe Tacopino is probably getting up right now, throwing some well, he's on the East Coast, so he's been up. Literally, probably shaving, probably taking his vitamin D in his morning run, throwing some aftershave on before he marches into court and destroys Sabrina. Anyway, they said so much for Wendy Williams' guardian, insisting Wendy is allowed to leave the confines of her assisted living facility to visit with family because she just torpedoed a night out with Wendy's niece, according to sources with direct knowledge, i.e. Wendy's niece. Wendy planned a night out with her niece, Alex Finney, and her new personal lawyer, Joe Tacopino. They were going to have dinner at a New York City restaurant. You know, Wendy was pulling out her Air Force One dunks and her poom shorts and a fur jacket. She's a New York girl to her heart. Now, they were going to have dinner at a New York City restaurant. That is until Wendy's guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, put the kibosh on Wendy, leaving the 5th floor of the facility, which Wendy has called a luxury prison. She is paying $16,000 a month for this. Interesting, since a lawyer for Sabrina recently sent TMZ a letter insisting Wendy was not being kept from her family and could see them whenever she wanted. Well, it seems clear that's not the case. Also, some people said, well, that's because she was meeting with Joe Tacopino. Somebody cannot stop you from meeting with your lawyer. They can't. They can't stop you. Your lawyer is your representative. Joe Tacopino, they can't deny him admittance to seeing Wendy on that floor. However, I'm sure they don't want to meet because they probably got that whole place bugged. You know what I'm saying? Listening to everything. And you know Wendy, she's the type where you're like, Wendy, please don't discuss this here. I can see Wendy being like, and you know what else, Joe? We are going to make sure they crawl in court. Because you know Sabrina, and I can see Joe being like, Wendy. Don't say that here. Don't just too many. No, Joe. They need to hear. I want them to hear. Sabrina, if you're listening, if you bug this place, you're going down. And I'm going to tell them about ABC. And I'm sure Joe Tacopino's sitting there like, oh, Lord. But baby, he can handle Wendy. He's handled much worse. Anyway, they say it's unclear why Wendy was denied the right to dine with Alex and Joe. But it may have something to do with Wendy's strong desire to end the guardianship. Again, the guardianship is meant to guard legally, and I'm surprised this is being able to happen. Legally, you have zero right to try to interfere with somebody's wish to end the guardianship. That is up for the jury to decide, not the guardian and not the court. I bet you one thing, I hope Wendy stays strong. I feel like they're leaving Colombian dancing desks, pills, dolls. I feel like they might even be leaving alcohol bottles like all over the place just for Wendy to actually relapse so she can get alcohol related dementia again. And they can be like, see, Again, they want to keep her doped up. That's my opinion. Anyway, they say our sources say if the judge doesn't end the guardianship soon, Wendy will demand that the jury trial starts sooner, and Joe will be her trial lawyer. That would put Joe squarely in opposition to the guardian. First of all, the judge, I don't think, is going to end the guardianship soon, because if they do, that whole little con job that they have going is going to be exposed. So I don't think they're going to end it early at all. I think they're trying to figure out a way that they can make Wendy incapacitated. I know there's elevators in that building. She better stay away from those stairs. Again, if it is proven true, this goes beyond Wendy. This goes into a little, basically almost $1 billion scam the New York courts, that judge and that law firm have going on. And that's all the law firm does. You know, that law firm got sued before for doing the same thing to someone else, and that person won. Let's also not forget that they're trying to say Wendy's broke, even though we know Wendy is worth at least $40 million. Anyway, they said Joe is a formidable force in the courtroom, recently scoring a stunning win in the ASAP Rocky trial. It wasn't don't get me wrong, he did his thing, but it wasn't stunning. ASAP Rocky, when he got on the stand, I said, he ain't winning this stuff. How you come across as grimy, shifty, untrustworthy, right? Unserious, and at the same time, the biggest hater in the world. Anyway, so Joe and Alex, Wendy's niece, ended up having dinner together. People are saying that in that dinner, they were discussing their strategy. Again, let's be clear. This is a move of desperation. The Guardian, because the Guardian is a lawyer, and she's behind a law firm. She's not just a guardian. They know legally what they can and cannot do. The fact that they are willing to take the legal repercussions for restricting Wendy and overreaching the bounds of the guardianship, the fact that they are willing to do that just to stop her from meeting with her niece and Joe, it lets me know two things. You know how when you're so desperate that if the truth comes out, you'll be ended, so you'll do whatever else you need to do. You'll take the consequences because you're like, as long as the truth don't come out, it's fine, right? But then also, this is very strategic. They have to know that this is very strategic for Joe and Alex. The more they stay in New York, the more that they say, Wendy, come eat with us, the more Wendy is denied. Well, what does that tell you? The more they can use that as evidence in the court. Again, to me, this is a last-ditch stop at desperation. A last-ditch stop at defamation. This little house of cards that Wendy and her guardian, they picked the wrong one. Because they had Britney Spears for 13 years. I'm sure they thought they would have Wendy for at least 6. It's going on 3. Go watch some of my earlier lives to hear about the way Bank of America seemed to be in on it. Everybody. And the Guardian's latest excuse is, well, Wendy asked for the guardianship at first. Okay. But that's like somebody asking you, even if she did do that, that's like somebody asking you, hey, can you hold my keys? Or can you watch my house for a while I'm on vacation? And the next thing you know, these mofos have moved in, locked you out, and said that they're going to report you for breaking an entry? Again, yeah, thank you for your service. You did what needed to be done. But Sabrina, you can now see your way out. And hopefully Tacopina can prove that that somebody will end up in a jail cell, and it won't be Wendy. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.